The Commission on Elections recently called unfair the decision of the National Citizens Movement for Free Elections, or NAMFREL, to withdraw its accreditation as a citizens' arm in the midterm polls. They say lack of voters' information and data makes this year's elections more susceptible to cheating. To tell us more about this, we have in the studio with us the Secretary General of NAMFREL, Eric Alvia. Good morning, sir. Welcome to New Day.
Good morning, Ria.
Thanks for being here. So let's just backtrack a little bit to what happened last week. Can you discuss again why you were compelled to reject the accreditation as a partner for Comelec in the May 13th
It's essentially the denial of data, or they kept silent on the data that we asked of them. When they granted us the accreditation around the 24th of April, we saw that we were only allowed to do the random annual audit and also to get a copy of the 27th election return. I mean, that's it. No? It's not casting aspersions on Comelec or the election process. It's just saying that we can't do the job properly if you don't provide the information. And let me correct that. I guess there's this misconception that if we're withdrawing, that means that it's going to be prone to cheating. No, it's not. No. What we're saying is that in the absence of data, you cannot make a conclusive finding or reading of the elections. That's it.
Okay. How crucial is that election data that you were requesting? And is it something that they granted to you in the past?
Yes. In fact, in 2013, they allowed us to get it. Of course, no, that was in paper. But in reality, we were not able to access it also because they did not put it out in public, no, until probably after a few years after the elections. No? But this time, 2019, no, we were asking for the same data sets, no? In fact, more, no? But they also did not, they kept silent on it.
What exactly is this data, and
it's very technical,
why is
no?
it needed?
It's very technical, like for instance, the IP addresses, DNS server address, audit logs, transmission logs, you name it, no? There are around almost 30 data sets that we were asking. It's essentially, just to the ordinary voter, it's essentially the data set would give you a picture of what transpires when the data is transmitted from the machine to the server. It's like, the analogy there would be, it's like playing a basketball game. Once the referee blows the whistle, he tosses the ball, then blackout. We don't know what's going to happen. Then at the final end, someone will announce, Team A won because of this score. Team B lost because of this score. But what transpired during that 2 hours of playing the game? It's essentially that. No? We want to get not only a snapshot, but we want to drill down on the data, and we want to make sure that the election returns that we're pulling from the transparency server is pristine, has the fidelity as when it was sent out from the machine.
Okay, now updates from yesterday say that you're open to requesting Comelec for reconsideration. Where are you now with that as we speak?
Well, we're waiting for their answer, because we lodged the petition, the manifestation, Tuesday last week. Since then, we only would hear from them through the media. If they respond to our manifestation, if there's any way, or if ever they will, then we will also respond correspondingly.
Well, the election's on Monday. Do you think realistically that there would be enough time for Comelec to review your appeal and make a decision?
Well, it's up to them. No? It's up to the NBank. No? At least the ball is on their court.
Okay. Well, yesterday, senatorial candidate Attorney Romulo Macalental said it's childish for NAMFREL to withdraw the accreditation simply because, you know, of those reasons that you stated. And he suggests you should file a petition for mandamus before the Supreme Court to compel Comelec to release the data that you were asking for. What's your comment on that?
I think that's essentially jumping to conclusions also, because he doesn't know the context of what we went through. No? We filed our accreditation December 5, 2018. We had a hearing January 15. From January 15 until April 29, we never heard from them. Or April 26, sorry. We never heard from them in paper. So there was no formal reply, no? Despite us following up every day. No? And at the same time also, it's an unfair statement because, one, precisely that's why we filed for our manifestation. No? We wanted Comelec to realize that these data sets are very important, and we cannot, in fact, it's a very big responsibility, no, to be a citizen's arm. And we cannot accomplish, or even we cannot do the job properly and efficiently, and we will just do an injustice to being a citizen's arm and to Comelec if we accept that without properly being equipped. And that's the data. They agree, I agree, they granted us the random manual audit, but the random manual audit is just a component of validating the whole electoral process. You cannot just say that it's a standalone activity. You have to use that as a basis and cross-check with the other phenomenon or activities that you're monitoring or observing.
Regardless of the outcome of an appeal, is your organization ready to monitor the elections, even if you will not officially be the citizens' arm of Comelec?
Oh, yes, definitely. In fact, we've been monitoring elections not only here, but in 46 countries. And there are much worse conditions that we went through. So it's just shifting the tack of observation and monitoring. We've done that in other countries. We've done that here. We've gone through the worst. In fact, in the mid-80s, or probably even the mid-90s. This is just well, it's not a big deal. What we're just saying to Comelec is we respectfully decline the responsibility because it's a huge task to take. And we don't want to do an injustice to being a citizen's arm, and we cannot deliver the role as a citizen's arm. And that's that. Nothing more, nothing less.
Right, but you will still be there on the ground
Definitely,
monitoring. Okay.
definitely.
From your end, how do you view these midterm elections? What exactly is at stake here?
Okay, well, of course, besides filling in the vacant post, obviously it's filling in the vacant post. Some say that it's a referendum of the current administration, but there are other things, there are other unseen things, like it's people positioning or preparing for the certainty of the uncertain. We don't know after these elections what will transpire. Things may change depending on the complexion of certain positions in the Senate, in the House, or even down to the local government units. So it's very important. Elections is just one of the few remaining institutions, democratic institutions that we have to protect. And we can't just let this pass. We have to toe the line and keep the line where people are trying to undermine not only the process, but even the institution in itself. So it's very important. It's sad that the elections right now are being gamed, whether it be a local contest or a national contest. You see rampant vote buying. You see people trying to question even the process. And that's precisely the role of NAMFREL. We want to make sure that the results of the elections has a high integrity, to make sure also that the elections are credible, because this is where the proclamation of our leaders are going to rely on. It's also very important because, one, there's continuity in governance. Without that, then we would say that our leaders don't have the legitimacy. So it's very important also not to trifle with the elections.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. NAMFREL Secretary General Eric Alvia.